thank you for listening to the Drums and Rums podcast. If you'd like to help support the podcast and our content on YouTube, become a Drums and Rums Patreon member, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel as we work to get towards 1,000 subscribers. Links are listed in the description of this episode. And thanks again for checking out this episode and all of our other past episodes. Hey all, it's Paul from Drums and Rums with the Backbeats Meets the Spirits. Who do I have with me in this episode of the Drums and Rums? And again, if you're listening, you can't see who I have, but I think when you hear her voice, I think you're gonna know who this person is. So let's welcome to the podcast. How you doing, Nia?
I'm great, Paul. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I know, right? It's been a while. It's like, I don't know. How long was it? 2 weeks? Why was it only 2 weeks ago that we last seemed so long ago?
That is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, in this episode, we are going to do our recap here of the Miami Rum Congress.
Very exciting. Very exciting,
Yes.
guys.
We got a lot to talk to. Our review, our thoughts on the event. It was, again, if you're listening to this was actually took place beginning of February, I guess now. Jeez, time is flying, right? So this happened at the beginning of February. Super Bowl weekend, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, Super Bowl weekend.
Exactly.
And it was a 2-day event, or three-day event. Yep, and lots of great stuff. And so we're going to go ahead and give you our thoughts, our review, our recap, whatever you want to call it. And then we got a little bit of a thing at the end of the podcast here that we want to announce that we got coming up for March.
Very exciting.
Yes.
So excited.
Yeah. So what do you think about this year's? I know I didn't attend last year because I think most people know they listened to the podcast. Last year this event got moved out a month because of COVID, and we had then also the Florida Rum Society took over that weekend and did something else. But what was your thoughts about was this your first? Because did you go last year?
I didn't because I had tickets and they moved it to the following weekend, which was horrible because I already had a trip booked. So I wasn't even going to be in town. We were flying international, so that was the end of that.
So it was your first event.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
There we go. Now
First Miami Rum Congress, yeah.
So what did you think about your first Miami Rum Congress?
Okay, I'm going to be brutally honest.
Hey, let's hear it.
You know how I am.
Listen, we're going rum unplugged here.
Yeah, Rum Unplugged. I went in with zero expectations because it was my first one. I obviously knew about the hype, knew about like everything that was going on, but had no expectations, didn't know who I was going to see there, didn't know how the event was going to be, and I think we should break it down by day.
That's fine. Okay, yeah, that's a good start. Yeah.
So day one, it's all seminars. I absolutely love the seminars. You had everything from the big conglomerates to bartenders to distillers to
history. There was some history there too, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Some history. There was also the WIRSPA, which is apparently a new organization that a bunch of distilleries or companies or conglomerates are getting together to basically even the rum playing field. As we all know, most of the market is taken over by the two big guys. Mm-hmm. So these distillers are getting together to kind of create this community where they can help each other out.
Sounds like the Rum Posse.
It does. It does.
Kind of.
Except we're not sharing funds yet, but it might be a good idea.
There we go. That's right.
But I thought it was very interesting that in the room, you had everything from like rum enthusiasts.
So my confession is on our, we got to start a whole new show called Rum Unplugged. Yes, here. So here's a confessional, Rum Confessions of, isn't that a movie? Rum Confessions? Or is it diary? I don't know. Anyway, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Is that what it was? Maybe? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't think it was drinking rum, but sure.
Oh, yeah,
maybe.
Sure. So I walked in, and we're like, all right, well, I don't want to go and take a seat just yet. And I saw on the back table there all the little samples. I was, oh, okay. I'll try some. Like, oh, okay, this was okay, this was okay. And then I realized after I sat down, the next session, like, oh, these must have been the discards. somebody, it wasn't there for just to take and grab the samples. It
No.
must have been somebody's discards that I must have been drinking. I didn't know that. I just thought they were just take a sample and go.
Yeah. The cocktails were by the entrance.
So all right, so yeah, I wasn't dumpster diving, but I wasn't sure if I was drinking somebody else's stuff they didn't want. So
Well,
wait, so the stuff on the table was the cocktails
the stuff at the bar when you came in, they
Yes.
had like a setup where
off
they
to
had
the left. You walk in. If you walked in and to the left, right?
yeah,
Okay, so maybe I wasn't drinking somebody's discards then.
but it wasn't on the table.
Oh,
If it was the table once you entered the conference room,
yeah.
yeah, those were discards.
All right, yeah. Yay for COVID and other diseases I may have got.
Well, you didn't get anything, right? It's
No.
been 2 weeks. Knock on wood.
I've been drinking rum. That's why. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
Dr. Rum is a prescription here. So anyway, so now we seem like we're doing a morning show right now. But yeah. So yeah, Friday we checked in there, and I missed some of it, like I said, and a lot of really great information. Right, some of the history. Quite a bit of it was great to see. A lot of like Nia. She's part of the Drums and Rums alums. Matt Petrick, the cocktail want, he's an alum. Tiki John Atkins, he's an alum too. He was also a moderator on one of the panels. Jay from the Florida Rum Society was also presenting on one of the sessions there. So it was great to see a lot of fellow faces, a fellow rum, alums for the podcast. And this is why we all get together and have fun, and
Absolutely.
we enjoy each other's company, and we all share the thing of rum. So, but yeah, so it's Friday that wrapped up, and then that was kind of like the official end of the day.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And once Worthy Park gave away or finished doing their cocktails, they had Angostura, and that's where we got this. And they were actually doing some phenomenal old fashions, just a very classic cocktail. They had a guy just mixing it real quickly. But what I tried that I had not tried is their 1824 rum, which was phenomenal. Very, very impressive. I don't know if you managed to try those old fashions, but they were great.
No, there was something I had tried. There was another company right at the door to the left of the cigar guy, and I can't remember who they were, but I have to
El
go back.
Dorado with the ship.
Were they outside or were they inside? If they
Were outside of the conference area.
maybe it was El Dorado.
They were the first company on the left.
Okay, so
That's El Dorado.
So whatever their cocktail that they made, I wasn't really all that really impressed by it. It was
That was the second table. El Dorado didn't have.
okay. So that's what. Okay. So, but yeah. So the event there, and again at the end of that session there, the day one was also an awards too, right? Did you? Stick to that?
No, I did not. Because
Okay.
honestly, congratulations to those people, but I had to drive back home. I did not stay Friday night, so I was like, okay, it's time to go back home. An hour and a half drive.
I'm not getting an award. I'm out of here.
Pretty much. Even though I do have to say a huge congratulations to the people from Unidos por el Ron. They're a group of people that collect really, really unique rum. Apparently, one of the guys had won the award for like social media rum ambassador. So, so they won, which is great. But yeah,
Next year, Nia.
yeah. Next year we gotta get in there.
That's right. Well, that's cool. I mean, again, it's kind of good that they have some recognitions there for some and plantation. They had one distiller of the year, I believe. Also, I think if I remember correctly from what I saw. Again,
Yeah, Alexander Gabriel also won CEO. The owner of San Juan Distillery also won CEO of the year, like CEO Distillery. Yeah.
So cool. So Friday. So that was Friday, and now I stayed Friday night, and there was some after party events, and again trying to find out where the next thing is and where to gotta go. I know later on afterwards, the Florida Rum Society had a little event with a couple of the brands there with Holmes Key,
Mitch
from
So Black Tot.
from Black Tot, and why am I drawing a blank on the third one? But anyway, I blame it on rum when I can't remember things. But that was a separate event, and but once it kind
Which sadly we missed out on
of
because
right.
it was
a certain amount of
posted.
people.
Yeah, it was RSVP only, and they posted on Facebook, which I guess you and I
Yeah, we missed it.
are not on there often enough to pick it
Yeah,
up. But yeah.
we missed that. We missed that memo. But yeah, once it opened up officially, and I think it was from what we understood was it was explained to us by somebody at the event. Was again, they're trying to get a head count. There's a certain amount of food that was being served, and I guess the brands are paying for it that are there. And I'm like, okay, I get it. If you had a certain amount of people showing up that did RSVP, and then you have too many, and then you have too much food,
No,
and
I get
food's
it.
always a thing because there really wasn't food being served at all. Now there was that what I have to say that there was a couple different nuances between us attending the Rum Renaissance Festival and the Rum Congress. Was I know on this first day of the event at the Rum Renaissance there was some light appetizers and some food
Yeah.
that was served. I it, we didn't that didn't happen on this one. There was no additional.
No, it
food
didn't. And
snack.
you know what was surprising? Because that's the first thing I looked at on their itinerary. It literally said break and it said lunch, and I assumed lunch was gonna be served. And when there wasn't, I was very surprised, and I had to scramble to find somewhere to eat, which absolutely sucked.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of options over there on Miami Beach other than the hotels and so
Well,
forth.
there are, but it's
then-
like, how are you gonna look for stuff last minute?
Right.
Very expensive. I know you found a good taco spot. Next time,
Oh yes,
you'll
that's
have to
right.
share it. So like,
That's
because
right.
we're on the budget, man. We're on the
Yeah.
budget. We were already spending so much money at the hotel down there. So
You got to give love to the little hole in the wall places because
Yeah.
they definitely make some mean food there, especially when you get to sit out in the street and the sidewalk of Miami and eating al fresco dining. But yeah, that was something I know. Yeah, because the hotel obviously had their bar, the pool bar outside, which again, hotel food in general is not necessarily cheap, like we're saying. But
oh no,
that's-
I actually got there early enough, and that because I wanted to have breakfast, and I did, and I had a kind of like a breakfast burger kind of thing, and that was $14.
Ooh, man, this ain't BK to have it your way.
Yeah. No, it was not.
Yeah. The other thing was, I think maybe I just didn't see it as often. It was water stations. I think a lot of the water stations were out in the lobby as opposed to being actually inside. Because once you left the main exhibit area,
Yeah.
you were kind of outside. And then if you wanted to go back into that same exhibit area, you had to go all the way back around. Which I get, they're trying to control people from sneaking in and so forth. I get it, but I think if they had more water stations inside,
Yeah,
it'd probably
especially
be
because
better.
when you went into the conference area, you had tables both to your right and your left. They should have had them back there. I don't know.
I agree, right? I mean, I guess you're trying to fit as many.
But at least they had water. Last Rum Renaissance, they had no water. You had to go to the little bar area, wait in the ginormous line.
Yep.
But
again, if you watch some of Nia and I's past videos and past episodes and past content about some of these events, you would have learned about these things, about making sure you're drinking your water and doing the five things you need to do when you go to these all day drinking.
Exactly.
Let's just call it for what it is, as bougie as you want to call it. It's your day drinking, okay?
yeah, absolutely.
again, you wanna try to
but
be
prep. You gotta
But you
prep.
prep, right? But I tell you what, there are some people, I won't say names, that looked a little green on the second day, and we'll get to that now here in a second. But yeah, so Friday wasn't bad. Again, we didn't go out to. I know there was other events going on around town,
Hmm.
and we just kind of stayed local. And at Friday night, and again, not to go too crazy. And again, there's we're doing this on a budget, and would have loved to gone down to all the bars there. Can't even say the word. It's a Exotico.
Exotico?
Yes, can't even say it. Or Swizzle or Broken Shaker was another one I heard people went to, but I didn't. Nobody invited me, so I guess there's that. But yes, but that was Friday. That was quick recap. I know you said you had to head back, and then you came back down on Saturday for the whole tasting event there. So
Yes. So we did get VIP. They had a actual pretty good special for a duo VIP that I know you partook with
right,
Sergio.
Yep.
So we ended up doing. We didn't want to do the VIP, but it was cheaper than us buying individual tickets for the general admission. So we're like, we're gonna do VIP. That started at 2. We got there just at 2. Luckily, our room was ready, so we just checked in, dropped our stuff, and then came back down. But so same thing. It was in the same conference area as the seminars the day before. There was we thought there was going to be, in all honesty, we thought there was going to be more companies, but it seemed like most of the companies there were like the big guys.
Right. Yeah.
So there was like Clement and all their products. So now Spirit Bam, which is that conglomerate, you have Clement, you have Chairman's Reserve, you have Bounty Rum underneath that whole umbrella, and then you had Admiral's Rum on the side, or English Harbor. Sorry, English Harbor. You had Silver Ray.
Hmm.
Then the conglomerate that's part of like Black Tot and a bunch of other
Right. Yep. Drawing a
companies.
blank on. Yeah, they were under the. I think that was their distributor that they were kind of under.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
distributes into the U.S.
And
there.
it was crazy. You looked at their banner behind, and there was like all these spirit companies, so they were pretty big. Um,
Plantation, I think that one's just on the
yeah,
other side of
Plantation had a ginormous
Right.
booth. You had Damien, who's a fellow Romelier from the Royal Rum Society, so I know him through that connection. They had a couple of their brand ambassadors like Adrienne, she's amazing. They had some amazing products. And if you have not been to a rum festival, this is a huge, huge tip for y'all. Definitely, definitely ask for what they have underneath the table. Ask for the special stuff. Don't waste your palate or your liquid calories or liquid capacity or your liver on the basic stuff that you can get at the liquor store. Ask for their special stuff. Do you want to talk about one of the special ones that we
Yeah,
found?
special one underneath the table was, again, you have to go off the menu and ask for this. So was Down Island. There, Mike Streeter. He's the owner of it there, and they had just a recent Austin Rum Society just had him on. I did a little tasting last week, or recently, I should say there. But yeah, what do you think about the behind under the table Down Island?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It was a 20-year-old Barbadian rum, which apparently was Foursquare. But 20-year-old Barbados sold, super sold. I love Barbadian rums.
It's hard, as I know, is a lot of other people that are getting into the market. It's stuff that comes from the cradle. We call it, right? I guess in
Yeah,
Barbados.
absolutely.
It's
That's a good word.
they're it's all started there. So everyone always tries to see they want to achieve to become like a company from Barbados, right? Because they've been doing it for so long. But
Yeah, Holmesky was there too. They had some special under the table stuff too, which was really good.
Grander was there.
Grander.
Yep. Brugal. Did you stop by the Brugal? And they were up
They
front,
only
right?
they only had oh, so that's another thing. So you had a whole section within the conference area, but then you actually had to go outside of the venue, outside of the hotel to like buy their pool bar, and that's where they had the rest of the I would say
Half a dozen, probably.
yeah, and most of the like the Central and South American brands. So they had Donku, they had Capali, which is amazing. They also had I have to think of this company. Oh,
So,
St. James.
yeah. St. James,
Amazing, amazing, amazing. They had some real special stuff. Donku had some phenomenal rum finished in like some crazy casks, which was really good. My favorite was the one finished in Zinfandel cask, which I
Did you try the vermouth one?
yes, I did that one too. That one was really good too. No, I did not hit a Brugal because they only had the 1888, which was like I was very disappointed because they do have a lot of other expressions, especially
But that's their most heavily marketed.
yeah, and I have that at home. So I was like, let me save my palate. Kapali had some cocoa rum. What else?
But I think as a whole, if I was thinking about it, was so again the main exhibit area and then the outside area that Nia's talking about was, I think probably no more than 20 booths.
I would say so. Sounds pretty accurate.
But those booths, that doesn't necessarily mean there's just 20 rums, but there was more than 20 rums, obviously, because most tables had many expressions to offer up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so forth. So the one I was interesting was there was talking around again. The last couple times, I definitely feel like, and maybe I'm in a good behavior, or again, like Nia and I, we go to these events, we're enthusiasts, we enjoyed it. We're trying to try different things. We're also working,
Yeah.
and so forth too. And it's like, it's like I didn't get messed up, obviously because I wasn't drinking and sampling enough as I probably feel like I should have. But again, there's so much to try, and to your point is be picky about what you really want to try rather than now. We know that people that do come to some of these tasting events may not be rum enthusiasts, and that's fine. But some do come just to go ahead and get a cheap drink to kind of, again, you're walking into a place of free samples for 30, $40 for the day, and you definitely can drink a lot on that in these types of events. But um, I think that was a part of it is it was I thought was interesting when talked to a couple people where like Parse. So Parse, the owner was there, and I said, well, we were at the Miami Rum Renaissance, a couple months ago. We were just talking about in November, and I said, look, don't get me wrong. I think in these kinds of events when you have all these rum enthusiasts, don't get me wrong. I'm a guy. I'll admit it. Last time I checked, uh, but the booth babes are great and all, but a lot of times talking to the actual owner goes so much farther.
Yeah.
Especially for the rum enthusiast, right? You get to ask exactly the questions to the guy or girl at the top where it all starts. And I told them that it's just the booth babes are okay. Nothing wrong with that. But actually having you here to be a little bit get more nerdy into some of the conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was great about that.
I did try. I hit
A lot of owners.
I did hit the Silver Ray table up, and I told him, I said, hey, can we hook up Bruno Mars and again drums and rums, Bruno Mars and rums? Come on, let's do this. All right. So they said we'll see what we can do. So stay tuned.
Hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. So
that'll be big for you.
Yeah. So that was it started at what was it again 2:00 till 6 or 7.
7.
7. So again, that's a good 5 hours. You could be in there doing some damage.
Well, let me tell you, when they opened those doors for the general public, oh my gosh, those rooms were like saunas. I had to go to my room and change in the middle, which it worked out because I took a break and I, freshened up and then drank a shit ton of water. So that was a good break for me. But oh my God, it was way too hot. Yeah. You could tell the AC capacity was like past capacity.
Yeah, there was, and obviously when volume and it just got much warmer in there. And I know it was good that a lot of people were pushing to go out to the back area where the other vendors were by the pool area. And yeah, you're right. It was definitely a change. You definitely knew if you're in there, all of a sudden it's like, man, there's a lot more people in here and it's a lot warmer. And I think a lot of people got hit by the heat as well too, just from there. So.
And I went live pretty much a little bit before, like it was at the height of the amount of people in there. So if you want to see what the crowd was like, you'll see like in my live video, it was starting to get up there and that was not at the peak, like I said. So it was even worse after that.
Let me ask you this. What was with the robot?
I don't know. That was that company. I don't know. They were using it as like a little gimmicky thing.
The robot never moved. Apparently, maybe it was supposed to because on Sunday, they had brought the robot back out for the event on Sunday morning.
Okay.
Or afternoon.
The brunch.
The brunch. That didn't happen. I'll tell you that in a second.
What?
Yeah, and then, but yeah, they were wheeling the robot on a dolly. So I don't know. Maybe the robot broke. I don't know what it was. But I thought it was cool. I told my kids. Because they were in the robotics club here in high school. I said, "Can you guys build me a rum bot, and serve me rum?" But yeah, so Sunday. Yeah, speaking of Sunday, now again, no, same thing. We kind of, I speak for myself. I kind of kept it a little low key. Sunday night after the tasting session was over, I think everyone was scrambling to figure out.
Yeah, because that was really surprising. Like they didn't really have an event per se.
At the hotel.
At the hotel, which
getting off to the bars.
Right? But again, once again, pushing the same location with the same people. It's like, come on, you're an international event. Let's do other events. There's so many world-renowned bars down there, like Café La Trova, Swizzle. They're like top 50 bars in the world, and you continue to partner with one single bar, which I think was a miss. That's just my personal opinion. But we ended up going to dinner, and we had reservations for Café La Trova, but we canceled because I thought there was going to be more stuff going on at the hotel, honestly. And I asked the organizer of this event, I was like, hey, where should we go next? What are we doing? What's the
I thought
next
there was gonna
plan?
be pop-ups. Maybe there was, and maybe I didn't.
Pop-ups are just people hanging out there. Like, I don't know. Everybody just left.
I maybe because we didn't. Like I said, you stayed, but I didn't stay at the hotel, and that's what I thought was going to happen was these little pop-up events in the rooms or invites. Kind of like what we had with the Miami Rum Renaissance
Yeah.
with John
That
from
was
Just
fun.
Rum. We did a little pop-up event, hanging out with him, and sampling some stuff before the event, and
Which
trying
was very
stuff,
cool.
trying stuff that wasn't available even for the tasting event. Uh, but yeah, it was kind of I was like, okay, it was kind of a little letdown, I think.
It was, and then the funny story. It's like when we were coming back from dinner because I was beat. I had a crazy week. When we were coming back from dinner, I was like, okay, let's go sleep because I wanted to wake up early. We wanted to take advantage of the property the next day because we got there so late the day before. That yeah, we're coming back from dinner, and the organizer of the event is like, hey, we have more rum. Do you want to come? We're all hanging out and drinking here. I was like, man, after dinner,
Where was this at?
some really good Cuban food. I was like, I'm ready for bed.
Done, yeah.
So same thing. You remember when you go into the event, once you get past.
It was up by the same area where the tasting session was?
Yes, yeah. So apparently when you went through the area.
Yep.
Where the bars were with the welcome cocktails.
Yep.
Did you see there was like a little room there? Where I think the Florida Rum Society held their thing. I think they were all in there.
No, the Florida Rum Society was outside by the pool bar.
Oh,
Yes.
that makes more sense.
Yes.
Okay. But anyway, they were there. So he was like, oh, do you guys want to come and grab drinks? I was like, no, man, I'm ready for bed, ready to crash. But yeah.
Mario and I bailed out, and we went back to our little hole-in-the-wall place to eat dinner on Saturday night, which, again, worked out perfectly for us. So, but yeah, that's a little bit, again, I felt like, it's still like, I'm not saying that I'm anybody of importance or whatever, but again, maybe I had a different expectations of that there was other things going on, or people would have passed along the information to, but I don't know, maybe I missed out. Maybe there wasn't. Like I said, a lot of people went both nights down into the downtown area, down to the bars. That's the particular ones that may or may not have mentioned. But yeah, rather not in a whole lot of little hangout event there.
But
hotel. I don't know.
If we hyper focus on just the event itself, would you say it was worth?
It was worth the deal that I got. I'll say that. And the deal that I got, I know but for those of you listening, I got in on a Black Friday deal. Again, this ticket was purchased in November for a February event. It was a Black Friday duo deal, like Nia mentioned, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I guess, for like half price. So again, I couldn't pass it up, especially being the VIP ticket, especially being Saturday and so forth. I think that was worth it. Again, I, on my own self, didn't get up into the event early enough, like should have. Maybe I definitely would have felt a little stronger about that. But I don't know. Again, if I'm kind of looking at my money, I got to see how involvement is. Also, who are the vendors and who are the seminars? I think that's a big part, is the seminars, right? Who they got speaking.
Yeah, so for me, the seminar was well worth it.
Yeah.
Like the amount of data you got and the interactions that you get, because at other seminars or conferences, you just have, it feels to me, I don't know, it feels to me that it's just rum enthusiasts or people wanting to learn, and that's about it. Right. At the Miami Rum Congress, you had everybody from the people from the conglomerate, and they're very boisterous. They're speaking when the panelists are asking questions. They're standing up and giving their feedback, which was incredible. Like you heard from a lot of smaller distillers pushing back on like people wanting transparency when the numbers were brought up, just little things like that. So it was interesting to see and hear both sides of the stories, which I absolutely loved. And everything you learned from that panel was definitely useful.
Yeah, it was.
Grand tasting? I don't know, Paul.
Yeah, I could almost see that. Do I need to pay for the VIP ticket to do the grand tasting? Unless, again, if it's bundled up, you're kind of stuck with the whole package.
And then you might as well do it.
You might as well do it, right?
But
at that
if
point,
you had to
right.
pay extra for the grand tasting, yeah, it was cool to sample. Like for example, I had never tried St. James, and I don't even think they sell here, as far as I'm aware, because they're from a French Caribbean island, St. James. They're like a rum agricole. That was very cool, but most of the stuff that was in there, we have pretty much access to.
Right.
Here in Florida, we're lucky like that. If you're in
Mhm.
the controlled state, that I'm so sorry, then definitely come to the Miami Rum Congress because you'll get access to
Move
everything.
to Florida. This segment is brought to you by the consumers of
The
Florida.
Department of Tourism.
Yeah, tourism. Yeah.
We wish, we wish.
Hey, it can happen.
It could. We're definitely advocating for Florida
That's right.
rums, right?
That's right. Yeah. So that's a good point, right? I don't recall seeing a Florida based rum there.
No.
It was not. I mean, I'm trying to think now.
There wasn't
Really?
even like
I
a
don't- was
U.S. brand,
Papa was
to
there.
be honest.
Papa was there though.
Papa Pilar?
I thought they were.
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's the case, that's the only ones that are coming to mind that are not and would be considered a Florida based or made rum. Now that I'm trying to go through and think about it.
But honestly, could they have had more space to put more people in? I highly doubt it.
Well, I think outside, you had a big open area. Again, like I said, there was
Yeah.
vendors that were outside, but you had a big open square. I think they could have. I think they probably could have outside could squeezed in maybe
Another 6,
that would 6 would be pushing it, but
depending on the size of their tables, because Plantation had like 4 tables.
and again to that point,
It was insane.
there were actually, speaking of that, there were actually a lot of other rum brands there in attendance, but not exhibiting. Yeah, there was other brands that.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, that showed up there. They were taking it in and learning some stuff, maybe feeling out. Is this an event I want?
Yeah,
to
if
do
it's a
going
worth
forward?
it, for sure.
Things like that, right? Making connections, and again, look, everybody walks around branded the best they can to kind of for people to know. And again, that's what you want to do. You want to meet people. You want to partner. You want to get your word out there. However you may do it. But there was quite a bit. There was a. Where's the bottle here? I mean, there's a here Clifton Estate rum. We talked to the owner here. It's made in Nevis, the spiced rum. Again, he had some products here. So again, a lot of stuff there that it's great to try. But if you love it so much, you can't get your hands on it. We were just actually talking about that with a guest that we're going to give you a little sneak peek about here in a minute. That problem, right? If you go to these events and you blow up or you get such a buzz and demand, now you can't fulfill the demand, right?
Exactly.
So, so to answer your question, I would do it again. Now knowing what I know, would have loved to be honest. Again, it's I got 2 kids, 2 boys that are driving and getting ready to go to college. So yeah, money is a very much, we'll try to do things on a budget and watch your dollars.
Yeah.
Staying at the Hilton is what was that? What's that rate you paid?
You don't even want to know. And I also got like the Black Friday.
I think it was like $400
Yes,
a night.
it was $400. So I had to split it with Phil. It was like a split situation, but that's why we also went to bed early on Saturday to be able to enjoy at least an hour or 2 hours of the pool and the ocean, because we were there basically drinking rum all day on a Saturday, which is not bad. Yeah. I love me some day drinking, but we didn't get to enjoy the $400 that we paid for the stay. And again, this was with the discount for the conference. Yeah. Regular price, that room, which by the way, we were not impressed at all, was $600. Phil looked up a property. He's like, for the amount that we paid for this hotel, we could have stayed at the Ritz in Fort Lauderdale.
Wow. That's
for the $400 a night. So we were like,
so did they up? Is that their normal rate, or did they up it because there was an event?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows? But it's like, we're talking about budget, and you guys know, and that's why we appreciate all our subscribers. Make sure you subscribe, because we need that support. We need you to watch our videos and like and comment our stuff so we know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, because without you, this is not possible. Like, this is all self-funded. None of these companies are paying us. This is coming out of our money. So if you can, quick, easy, free. Subscribe, like, comment. We really appreciate it.
Become a Patreon member for exclusive content,
For sure.
or a Cash App, and so forth. And again, we're telling you this. We did this little episode here for this episode of the podcast for the Drums and Rums. Is, again, to kind of give you our thoughts, our opinions, our, hey, maybe things to look out for if you're interested in doing this next year. Some things to kind of consider, right? I stayed I found an Airbnb 2 buildings over for, I don't want to tell Nia how much I paid for mine.
He already told me.
But,
and I almost screamed. I was like, damn it.
but
I should've done that.
again, it was like, all right, it wasn't the Hilton, but again, it served what I needed it to do for the night. And again,
Yeah.
it's like almost like a cruise ship, right? Why buy a balcony room
When you're not going to be in the room at
right?
all.
There's only a few things you're going to do in that room, and I don't need to tell you what they are. But
But you would be surprised how many people get balconies.
that's true. There is a lure of sitting in a balcony and watching the ocean go by and so forth. But yeah, I would do that again. That approach, I think our Airbnb worked out perfect for us.
Yeah,
we
at
were
that price,
within-
that's very
Within
reasonable.
walking distance, there was a
Yeah.
pool. It's a little bit of an older building, not a big deal. It's a condo that was Airbnb, and then again, man,
Guys, our room was ancient for $400.
Wow.
Our shower, listen, I know we were there for just the night, but if I'm paying $400, the shower you could tell had not been updated since the 70s.
Wow, that hotel doesn't look that old though. The Hilton, really?
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know it was that old. Okay.
I think they're from the 50s actually, but you could tell. Obviously, technically, hotels are supposed to. So I used to work in travel and tourism. My degree is in hospitality management. This is the only reason I know this, but technically, hotels are supposed to refurbish every 5 years because that's how much use they get.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of wear and tear.
Yeah,
Right.
they're supposed to do refurbishments of their rooms every 5 years. This bathroom had not been touched since the 70s.
Well, I'm definitely not going to tell. I'm going to have to show you later about the hotel I stayed at for the Miami Rum Renaissance.
So I'm sure when you say old, I don't think it's older than our room.
No,
at $400.
Nia, I'm gonna show you pictures of the room that I stayed at down in last.
Oh,
November.
last time. Okay.
Yeah, I with air conditioning, it was a wall unit, and you could visibly see outside through the
Oh my
seal.
God.
Yeah, that was anyway. So it is. Like I said, this was definitely for me an upgrade for what I experienced. Again, it wasn't a reflection. I say this not a reflection on the rum event. It was just a reflection of the hotel I chose to stay at. So I just make sure I put that disclaimer. But yeah, the weather was beautiful.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was perfect.
Friday night, Saturday morning, I got up, man. I was feeling a bit groggy, getting ready to go. And I said, I got to go take a dive in the ocean. And the water's still a bit cool right here in February.
For us, Floridians.
75 it may have been. That's cold.
But there was plenty of people in the ocean. Obviously, the only people we saw, we asked them, we're like, oh, where are you guys from? They're like, we're from Philadelphia. Yeah. So this is perfect for us.
For sure. So, but yeah, I would, like I said, I would do it again with certain things. Again, take these notes and our little tips and our experiences and kind of help frame, so you have a good experience going forward if you choose to come down here, especially if you're flying into Miami.
Yeah,
again,
for sure.
You're definitely going to have to pay for an Uber because the airport to the hotel is a good bit away.
And there's no public transportation, so we do have trains down here, but they don't go that far.
Yeah, so you're taking Ubers, buses, or a cab or something. And yeah, you're probably looking for the Miami International Airport to that hotel. You're probably I bet you would probably
$50.
$50, yeah.
I would say so.
That's not even peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's peak, forget it. Yeah. That's why we're like, why bother going downtown to one of the restaurants or bars where you're going to now pay probably $50 just on a Saturday night Uber to to South Beach, basically. It's like, nah, it's okay.
But yeah, what I always tell people is like, this is my perspective of things. Please don't be discouraged. Maybe you might really enjoy the rum tasting on Saturday. I personally, because we have access to so many of these brands, I didn't see the benefit. I did enjoy some very rare rum, which was very cool. I have pictures. I posted online all the very unique rum that I had. But I don't think I'll do the grand tasting again. I will do the seminars, though. The seminars, they had everybody from experts in technology that was helping distillers and restaurants push certain spirits, all the way through, I don't know, rum history, all the way through distillers talking about how they make their rum. They had a bartender bash off, was it? No.
Debate.
debate
Yeah.
about literally how they make the three most classic cocktails, which I thought was very interesting. There's a lot of learning there. So the seminars, totally worth it. The grand tasting for me, I don't know if I would repeat it.
Okay, that's there you go. There's our honest recap review opinions of our experience of the rum. Again, Betty was the organizer for the event. I got a chance. We both got a chance to talk to him a little bit, and yeah. So I mean, look, putting on an event of that size and magnitude has got to be crazy.
For
Trying to
sure,
trying to
yeah.
keep all this.
Huge kudos to that team because
Yeah.
either way, it was very well organized. There was a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to see, a lot of people to meet.
Yep. Yeah.
They had a photo booth, which was really cool. The hotel, besides the room, the hotel was gorgeous.
Yeah, there was a lot of hustle and bustle going on. So again, if
Yeah.
you are definitely feeling like if you're not from here, to experience the Miami feel, yeah, you
You'll
definitely
get it.
got it. Yeah,
You'll get it.
oh yeah, for sure. So especially with all that traffic on, anywhere
In South Florida,
yeah,
yes.
it takes you a half an hour to get anywhere, in at a minimum, even if it's just crossing the street. So, but yeah, so like I said, for me, I said it was great to see a lot of familiar faces. Got the chance to reconnect with a lot of the alums and so forth, make new friends, make new acquaintances, and some people actually that we've met will most likely be on the podcast this year as well.
Yeah.
So I know Eric from Holmes Key. We got him. We're going to try to get him lined up here shortly as well. So a lot of great love to try to get a
Absolutely.
plantation angle somehow.
Oh, that'll
So
be easy.
that'd
Oh,
be
I
kinda
can connect you.
so
But speaking of upcoming guests, should
so
we spill the beans on what's coming in March?
well, I think we should. So I don't know. I don't have a drum roll on my pad here,
Here.
but yeah, there you go. There you go. There's our drum roll here. So again, this is the last. You're listening to this. This episode is being taped. This will be the last episode for March. Or I'm sorry, for February 2023. So this is going to drop on the last Tuesday of February. Again, thank you again for listening to the episode. And we'll drop this episode on the video format also Tuesday morning coming up here if you're listening to this. But why am I telling you all this? And why do I have my good pal Nia with me on this?
Why am I
episode?
crashing? Why am I crashing?
Why is she crashing into the studio here to tell us about rum and her experiences? Well, you want to tell us? You want me?
You spill the
Okay, I'll
beans. You
spill
spill
the
the
beans
beans.
here. So, all right. So after this episode's dropped, we're going going right into March, which is you've been listening to the podcast over the last year. We're going into our third year of doing the podcast.
Congrats, that's
So,
huge.
Thank you. And March has always been except for the first year, because again, we were starting out, but 2021, 2022, and again with 2023, we're got episodes of the entire month of March focusing on International Women's Month, where all of our
Love it.
guests on the episodes will be women that are involved either in the drum community, rum industry, or
And anything in between.
everything in between. Yes, you're going to have some interesting guests coming on here, but it's not me who's going to be hosting them. We have a special guest host that is taking over the Drums and Rums podcast episode, and that is Nia from My Rum Diaries.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very excited. Thank you so much for the
Yeah.
opportunity. I'm excited that I get to crash your podcast.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to taking a little break. We take a little break on this. I said I should have done it in December. I should have just handed you the keys and said, "Here you go."
Enjoy the next 90 days.
That's
Have
right.
fun.
Yeah. So yeah, we just taped. Actually, today we're taping this, but we just taped before this episode was with our first guest. We won't tell you who.
No, you gotta tune in, subscribe, and watch the whole shebang.
Maybe we might sneak something on the Patreon. Maybe we'll leak a little bit on the Patreon.
Oh, that'll be good. If you're not a Patreon member, you know what to do, right?
Right, that's right.
Go ahead and sign up.
Drums and Rums on Patreon there. So yeah, looking forward to Nia. So here, have fun with it.
I will. I
know
will.
You're gonna
And be kind to me, guys. This is my first time taking over. He's already got a big personality, big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. I'm not used to hosting so much, but I do enjoy it and I love it. So I'm just gonna bring that passion. That's it.
And it's great to kind of have a different perspective, and from a question, and talking to the guests here. The different women, like I said, women from all sorts of amongst the drums and rums realm of certain things. And I guess I know you'll bring a different perspective than I ever could, obviously, because I'm not a woman. Last time I checked. But yeah, so you'll be able to kind of have a different connection, I think.
And I'm excited. We have guests in the rum world and some very unique guests that I think you guys will definitely enjoy. We've definitely handpicked these people. So I'm hoping you enjoy. Definitely look forward to reading all your comments. I'll definitely watch every single video and all your comments, and I'll definitely reply to anything. I love feedback, so please let me know how I'm doing, what we can change. If you think we should do these more often too, because, like, hey, what do you guys think? Should we do this more often? It's been fun. It's been a fun day.
Yeah, we've had a fun day. We've been drinking rum and
Lots of rum.
taping podcasts.
So if you guys if you keep on seeing me switch from because rum has been shared, a lot of sharing. But great
something.
Great rum sharing.
Yep. So yeah, so now it'll be great here. And again, don't forget to go ahead and rate the podcast over an Apple Podcast. Give us a review. Again, that's the stuff that people do look at, see. Advertisers look at that stuff. I mean, I can't say it all the time, but it is an important
and
thing.
It's free, guys. It's free.
Exactly. Just if you got Apple Podcasts, go over there and give us a rating. Go over there and give us a review. 5-star ratings. Give us a review. Follow the podcast. Subscribe to our channels. Again,
yeah, for sure.
Rums and Rums and My Rum Diaries. Again, that kind of stuff does matter. People do look at that kind of stuff. And again, if you do like it, that's all we're asking. If you don't like it, then fine.
It's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you'd like to still subscribe and do all those things too, if you don't like it, that'd be awesome. But yeah, just again, help support us, and it keeps us going. It shows that people do have like what we're doing, and to make more content
or less
content. Yeah. Yes, more is less. That'd be great. So anything else, Nia? Do you want to?
I think that's it. Just excited for March. Make sure you tune in.
Yes, that's right.
Have some exciting guests, some exciting rum that we have never tried before, and some very interesting guests.
Yep. So that's why we went a little bit of our recap here. I asked Nia to come on here because I wanted to make sure when you listen to that.
Oh, we're frozen again.
Almost.
Like, hang on for just a minute.
So close. So this is why I asked Nia to come on the podcast to kind of recap the Miami Rum Congress event with me, and also to make sure when you guys listen to that first episode in March, that voice does not sound. When you hear this sexy Spanish voice, it's not me. So it's not. Don't change the dial. Nia has taken over.
Taking over Drums and Rums.
My Rum Diaries takeover of the Drums and Rums podcast. So, oh my God, I'm getting all choked up over this.
It's exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah. So make sure you follow My Rum Diaries on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. We'll post all the links to Nia's content and so forth. Again, follow us, drumsandrums.com, and all of our stuff. You guys know what to do. And again, we appreciate you tuning in and listening to this episode of our recap.
Thank you so much.
And our little intro for month of March of recognition of International Women's Month there. So again, y'all, this is Paul and
Nia.
It's where the backbeats meet the spirits. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Like I said, women from all sorts of amongst the drums and rums realm of certain things. And I guess I know you'll bring a different perspective than I ever could, obviously, because I'm not a woman. Last time I checked. But yeah, so you'll be able to kind of have a different, connection, I think.
And I'm excited. We have guests in the rum world and some very unique guests that I think you guys will definitely enjoy. We've definitely handpicked these people. So I'm hoping you enjoy. Definitely look forward to reading all your comments. I'll definitely watch every single video and all your comments, and I'll definitely reply to anything. I love feedback, so please let me know how I'm doing, what we can change. If you think we should do these more often too, because, like, hey, what do you guys think? Should we do this more often? It's been fun. It's been a fun day.
Yeah, we've had a fun day. We've been drinking rum and
lots of rum.
Taping podcasts.
So if you keep on seeing me switch from because rum has been shared, a lot of sharing. It's great
something.
Great rum sharing.
Yep. So yeah, so now it'll be great here. And again, don't forget to go ahead and rate the podcast over an Apple Podcast. Give us a review. Again, that's the stuff that people do look at, see. Advertisers look at that stuff. I mean, I can't say it all the time, but it is an important thing.
And it's free, guys. It's free.
Exactly. Just if you got Apple Podcasts, go over there and give us a rating. Go over there and give us a review. 5-star ratings. Give us a review. Follow the podcast. Subscribe to our channels. Again,
yeah, for sure.
Rums and Rums and My Rum Diaries. Again, that kind of stuff does matter. People do look at that kind of stuff. And again, if you do like it, That's all we're asking. If you don't like it, then fine.
It's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
If you'd like to still subscribe and do all those things too, if you don't like it, that'd be awesome. But yeah, just again, help support us, and it keeps us going. It shows that people do have like what we're doing, and to make more content
Or less.
or less content.
Yeah.
Yes, more is less. That'd be great. So anything else, Nia? Do you want to?
I think that's it. Just excited for March. Make sure you tune in.
That's right.
Have some exciting guests, some exciting rum that we have never tried before, and some very interesting guests.
Yep. So that's why we went a little bit of our recap here. So this is why I asked Nia to come on the podcast to kind of recap the Miami Rum Congress event with me, and also to make sure when you guys listen to that first episode in March, that voice does not sound. When you hear this sexy Spanish voice, it's not me. So it's not. Don't change the dial. Nia has taken over.
Taking over Drums and Rums.
My Rum Diaries takeover of the Drums and Rums podcast. So, oh my God, I'm getting all choked. I'm getting all choked up over this.
It's exciting. It's very exciting.
Yeah. So make sure you follow again. Make sure you follow My Rum Diaries on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. We'll post all the links to Nia's content and so forth. Again, follow us, drumsandrums.com, and all of our stuff. So you guys know what to do. And again, we appreciate you tuning in and listening to this episode of our recap.
Thank you so much.
And our little intro for month of March of recognition of International Women's Month here. So again, y'all, this is Paul and
Nia.
where the back meets the spirits. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.